What's going on, guys? No Guides here. Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we've got a 4 formation setup that can maybe help you get elite in your weekend league. Now this is set up for all aspects of the game. So you've got a defensive formation, one to close the game out. We've got 2 formations to use for the entire game and 1 to use when you're basically losing. You need to get the ball back. In case you're new here, I got a video for every single one of these formations. If you're ever unsure about what formation does, feel free to refer back to the video, the one on my channel. So the idea is we want to focus on basically these 2 formations. Most of the game we'll be spending our time in these 2 formations. If, for example, we're winning, we might, for example, go down and go back to ultra defensive. And if we're losing, we might go up. So the idea is you go up as you're losing, and you go down as you're winning. That way you're stable and able to react to your opponent. Now we're going to start off with the most ultra attacking formation first, because it's some things I want to make a note. Team press has now been nerfed into the ground. 15 seconds all it lasts for, so constant pressure is there, so your team continuously presses, should I say, without you having a kind of a time or something stopping you. So this is the benefit of using constant pressure. So it kind of goes around or kind of beats a team press nerf kind of thing. High width, moderate depth, that way we get the ball back as high up the pitch as possible, but we're not too far forward. We're exposed, long ball, and this basically just means that, listen, everyone's just going to run forward when you get the ball. Now in terms of the instructions, of course, feel free to pause it. Stay central, stay forward, one of the strikers. Stay central, come back on defense with the other ones. That way you got the link up player when you build up, when you get the ball back. Left mid and right mid both on come back on defense, because you still need to be somewhat players coming back to defend, or you're just going to get countered. And it'll be like, if you're losing 2-0, you don't want to make it 3-0, then it's complete GG. And then you got one centre mid on stay back cover centre as a defensive option, and the other one on balanced. Feel free to put this on get forward if that player hasn't got the best of work rates, but I leave them on balanced. And the left back and the right back, we have them both on stay back while attacking. So this is the formation to be using, let's say, when you're losing and it's 2-0 down, let's say 80 minutes, and it's do or die. But the next 2 formations are kind of, I would say, the 2 main formations. Now if you haven't seen the videos on these, make sure you do. Now the question I get asked is which one's more attacking. They're both equally attacking. I prefer the 3-5-2 because it's a bit more centralized. You got the 2 strikers, you got the cam, the 2 CDMs, the left mid, the right mid are there for support. I prefer this formation, but the 5-3-2 could be made more attacking if, for example, you put the central centre mid player on stay back, the left centre mid and right centre mid on join the attack, and the left back and right back ends up becoming a more attacking formation. So we're going to start with a 5-3-2. So this would be a formation, I would say, let's say you can't get past with a 3-5-2. Let's say your opponent's parking the bus and you need to be able to exploit the wing areas. Well, this is a formation where you change to the 5-3-2. Balanced 3 and 4, I've already explained this already. Fast build up play 6 and 4. Instructions: stay central, one of the strikers stay forward, other one stay central, come back. So you got that link up player, because you got no cam, you need that link up player. Now for the 3 centre mids, as I mentioned in the video, it depends on how you want to do it. If you put all these 3 players on stay back while attacking, you can argue it's even more defensive than the 3-5-2. But we actually had the central player on stay back, stay edge box, conservative and cover centre. So he's going to stay back. We have the left centre mid and the right centre mid both on get forward, get inside the box. So when you do attack, what's going to happen is these guys are going to be running forward. You've got 2 centre mids, and then you've got the left back and right back, who when they go forward, don't forget, they're basically unmarked. So it makes it impossible for your opponent to mark this, because he's basically got a 4v4 in the middle, and then the wing player is almost going to be guaranteed free every single time. So this is a formation to exploit your opponent down the wing. We've got the 3 centre backs all on stay back while attacking. Left back and right back, of course, join the attack, conservative and overlap. This means that they're going to go forward, go down the wing, be close to the sideline as possible, and that way you can exploit your opponent's back line. Don't forget as well, the fast build up play just means that the players be running very much forward, so they're being very, very aggressive and running forward. And this is what ultimately makes it one of the best attacking formations. Again, especially if someone is parking the bus and you can't get through down the middle, then this is the formation to use. You can use hug the silence, you want these guys to be wider, but generally by default I think it's good enough as it is. Then we have the 3-5-2. This is the exact same 3-5-2 as I mentioned in the video. Balanced 4-5, long ball 6 and 3. For the instructions, we have stay central, come back on defense, stay central, stay forward. The only difference is, because if you remember my 3-5-2 tactics videos, we had 2 3-5-2s. We had one 3-5-2 with the striker and a cam all on stay forward, and we had the more defensive one where one of the strikers and one of the cams was on come back on defense, and one of them was on stay forward. So this time we kind of combine them both together, so you can like a combination between both. We've got a striker on stay central, come back and defense, and we've got the other one on stay forward, but we've got the cam on stay forward. So how this works is Neymar comes back to defend. Of course, you can stop this with Ronaldo as well, but he doesn't really tuck into like a 3 centre mid position. He kind of lingers around a cam role. So the ideology behind this is you have stay central, come back and defense, get it behind, stay central, stay forward, left mid and right mid both on come back and defense, get into the box, get in behind and conserve interceptions, and both CDMs on stay back while attacking, cover center, and cut passing lanes. Of course, you can use hug the sidelines on that. And so the ideology is most of the time you'll be spending your time using the 3-5-2. Now, depending on your skill level, for example, if you're like myself and you know you're a very good player, deep down you know you can control a game, you know you finish above 25 wins and above, you probably spend 95% of the game on this formation. If you're a goal 3 player, you might find yourself more on closing out the game as opposed to a 3-5-2. So it all depends on comfort. Now, I would say start with this formation. Most of the time, this is the formation that you can use to win the game. You never really need to change formations. Sometimes your opponent might park the bus, and then it's worth changing to the 5-3-2. That way you can exploit him down the wings, and at least you got that guarantee, because with a 3-5-2, yes, you can argue it's more attacking, but there's no guarantee you'll get through. Whereas with the 5-3-2, because the left back and right back, when they go forward, they're always going to be unmarked. You almost have that guaranteed aspect of getting forward. So that's why I would say stay on this formation. If, for example, you're 1-0 ahead, stay on this formation. If, for example, you go 2-0 ahead and it's 45 minutes, still stay in 3-5-2, but around 60 minutes, if you're realizing, you know what, I can't break down with this one, then you can go to the 5-3-2 if that makes sense. So the 3-5-2 is there. If you can't get through with that, then you go with a 5-3-2. And only if you're desperate and you need to get the ball back as soon as possible, then you have the 4-4-2 second variation. Then the last formation, we're actually not going to use the 4-2-3-1 now. If you want to use the 4-2-3-1, I'd recommend putting, so let's say stay central, come back in defense, 3 cams on come back in defense, stay back while attacking, cut passing lanes, conserve interceptions for both CDMs, left back, right back, stay back, overlap. Now, if you want to play the 4-2-3-1, go ahead and do that. But if you want to close the game out, I'd recommend putting both these guys on the stern edge of the box. In fact, I recommend putting all 3 of these players on the stern edge of the box, and then having one of your CDMs on drop between defenders. Now, how does this work? So if, for example, you're winning and you're in this formation, if, for example, you're winning 2-1 and it's 70 minutes and you know your opponent's becoming more attacking, then you want a defensive formation to close the game out. Then you change to the 4-2-3-1. So the 4-2-3-1, how it works is the CDM will drop in between the defenders. When you're defending, you're basically going to have a back 5. And that way, if you do lose the ball, you're going to have that back 5 and that CDM, Ronaldo Sanchez, controlling the midfield. So if you do get countered or some through ball comes in behind, you have that protection layer of defense. So this is if your opponent is going gung-ho and all-out attack, at least you got that counter-attack formation. Well, not a counter-offensive, should I say, or to a counter to his offensive style is what I was meant to say. So this is mainly just a formation just to close the game out. So this isn't necessarily a formation you use the entire game. This is a formation to close the entire game out. If you do want to use it the entire game, I'd recommend just putting them both on stay back while attacking, because you have this guy on drop between defenders, you do lose that midfield presence, so that's something to bear in mind. But if, for example, this player's on drop between defenders, so let's say, for example, you go into a game, I would start on a 3-5-2. If you're 1-0 ahead, you're still staying at 3-5-2. If, for example, it comes towards 2-0, you're comfortable, then you can go to the 4-2-3-1 and lock the game out. Now, if you're on 3-5-2 and it's a draw or it's 0-0, and let's say, for example, you're struggling, stay on a 3-5-2. If you're 1-0 down and you know your opponent's parking the bus and you know you haven't got through, not that you missed a chance in front of the final third, let's say you know you can't get through, he's using overload the ball side, drop back, he's parking the bus, then you change to the 5-3-2, because everyone after the patch, because they can't spam step overs anymore, all these sad people, they're now spamming drop back, overload the ball side of the bridge. So they're going to be camping in their own box, almost like trench warfare. So the benefit of this is that with a 5-3-2, when the left back and the right back, when they go forward, they're basically unmarked, and that way you're always going to have one exit strategy or player to pass to on the wing. And then at that point, let's say, for example, you're losing, and if you're losing 2-0 and it's 75 minutes, you can't press with 5 defenders because it's too much space available over here for your opponent to hold the ball. So the 4-4-2 is the best formation to naturally press because you cover most of the pitch. And of course, you've got 4 midfielders and you haven't got a back 3. So when you're attacking, you don't get counter-attacked very, very easily. So it's the best formation for pressing. And of course, by default, which is, don't forget, I don't actually play this formation in game. This is just for chemistry purposes. I play a 4-3-3 just for chemistry purposes in game out of these 4 formations. But I make the 4-3-3 an anti-kicker formation. So if my opponent's kicking off first, That way, if I change to, for example, a 3-5-2, there's a kind of like a time lag of like maybe a couple of minutes, 2 minutes in real time, or maybe when the ball goes out of play in game. So that way you got that safety net, so you can kind of avoid the kickoff glitch. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's kind of the tactics setup for the 5-3-2, 3-5-2, and as I said, you kind of have the two more main formations in the middle, and of course you have the 4-4-2. If you are a very high skill player and you know you don't go down that much, what I'd recommend is putting a 4-2-3 on here, the 5-3-2 over here, and having two variations of the I suppose you can say the 3-5-2, and have the more one where you have, for example, the striker and the cam on comeback and offense, and this one we have the two strikers and a cam on stay 4. That way you got a good variation all around. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out. And don't forget, I do stream on twitch.tv/NoGuys, and all social medias are down below in the description. Thanks again. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.